Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to let people understand this. It's okay to be angry. I'm not taking out anyone being angry. I'm angry. You kidding me? But we got to put the blame where it is. Let's not get the pitchforks out. You guys gotta realize that there's a lot of bad that happened this game for us to lose. I mean, USC literally had to miss tackles, had to miss throws, drop balls. There was a lot to go around. Hi, caller. Which name are you calling from?
Mr. Paulie Walnuts here, man. Let me tell you guys, it's always good to see you guys after a tough loss like this.
What's up, Paulie? We'll be here.
Brighten up a little bit.
Win or lose, we'll be here.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you, not even the Trojan Conquest burger that I created for you guys is even sitting well in my stomach right now. But getting back to it, my brothers, let me tell you right now, dude, this is a completely devastating loss for us. Like I said, it just reminds me, and I hate to constantly bring it up, it reminds me of a couple other powerhouses that were in the same situation we are as far as rebuilding. The lack of depth is really, these guys are gassed. You can tell just the simple plays, the tackling, fundamental plays that they're supposed to be making, we're struggling at. And, the interceptions at the wrong time, man. I saw it with my own eyes. We had complete control of this game. And that pick, just like against Minnesota, sucked the living life out of us, man. And it was just a complete swing and change of momentum right after that. And I noticed a lot with the player rotations, which it just seems that we're just targeting certain guys. I mean, they spread it out quite a bit, but I'm at the point now when it comes to these player rotations, I want to see the other guys I want to see what they're about now, since the season's pretty much.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, let's see what the other guys got on that are just standing on the sidelines there. Let's get the Jay Fairs in and Kyle Fords and get them in, man. And on defense as well. Let's see what we're about. Let's get these guys some experience out there. And because obviously what we're doing now is not working. Like I said, these guys are gassed. It's obvious that they are, but just on the road, for some reason, it just looks like we're running in mud a lot. And, they look like they're flying around, but by second half, they're gassed. Kamari Ramsey can only do so much, man. The guy's all over the field for us. He's diving in every play. He's doing everything.
Yeah.
And not everyone has the stamina and the momentum he has, but definitely a tough one. I don't even know where to go from here. My biggest concern is I hope these recruits stick around and realize what we're trying to build here. But something definitely needs to change. The lack of consistency on our throws is what's killing us as well. His mechanics are completely off. He really just needs to, but he has a habit of doing that. As soon as either he's getting tired or he's hearing footsteps, I don't know what it is, but that definitely needs to be.
Well, Paulie,
listen, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go ahead. Ahead.
He's not just hearing footsteps. The guy's taking hits. Okay, look,
that's true.
When he had protection, he didn't make the throws. He did it. He's got to be better. He's underthrowing guys. But he's getting hit. And so it leads you to the question, is it to the point where it's in his head? That's a good point, Paulie. I mean, maybe they've finally gotten to him. Yeah. You're seeing throws that he normally makes in multiple games now that he's missing. Is like you said, is he hearing the footsteps? Because he's getting popped. It's clear that he just is not the same quarterback he was at the beginning of the year, And so there have to be questions on that.
Noticed him? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what I noticed him and Preston? I noticed that in his progressions, man, he's in such a rush because like I said, maybe he's trying to rush because he's so used to getting hit and he's not going through his reads properly because he's locking in completely and just trying to get that ball out as quick as possible when he was given time today to throw. And so it's just, I don't know, PTSD type of stuff, whatever you want to call it. But he is definitely not. He's struggling with his reads, man. It's completely obvious because there's guys that are wide open sometimes.
Not just that, but
Paulie,
not just on that, but there were a couple play action. Where he had the opportunity. Sorry, he had zone reads where he could have kept, he kept the ball when one of them he needed to hand the ball off. You saw it was clunky. The run was there. I don't know what he's reading. But there was a play where he kept it and he absolutely should have handed it off. And there's another time where he tucked it and ran and that play wasn't going anywhere. So again, it's not just the underthrown balls in the game. It's not just throwing off his back foot to throw a 50-50 ball up and underthrow it. because Branch had no chance at that ball, 0 chance. He should have ate that sack. He's trying to do too much. And so at this point, is he hearing the footsteps you're talking about? Is he trying to do too much? Because he's not the same quarterback. And if he's not the same quarterback, then Riley has to start thinking about, I might need to make a change. I mean, if he's not the Miller Moss we saw in the first 3 games of the season, not on Miller's. I'm not blame Miller Moss. Miller Moss has been getting the snot kicked out of him for 7 straight games. The offensive line is still not fixed. So they need to coach better and they need to recruit better.
Yeah, and definitely getting those balls. You know, it reminds me a lot when Leinart and all those guys would hit Mike Williams, those big giant receivers that we'd have to run in similar plays. And for some reason, Miller, I don't know if he's throwing off his back foot or what, he's overthrowing Jacoby and Deuce consistently. So that's something he really needs to work on. He is what he is. This is what I try to tell Trojan fans. He's not going to turn into some Caleb Williams or some Heisman guy. This is who he is, and this is what we got to understand. You know, this is what we're dealing with here. All we can do is try to get better, find the right rotations, and maybe improve that way. But start working on getting some new guys in there, man, some new fresh blood in there, and get that game time experience. Listen, guys, man, I really sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
My grandmother's visiting, so I'm going to pig out. I'll come up with something special tonight. But let me tell you, I love you guys, man. Fight on, brothers. And, hey, enough of the Clay Helton talk, Trojan fans. Look at what he inherited.
Yeah.
He is not a great coach.
Paulie,
I don't know where people were getting this from.
I got you, Paulie. Don't worry. Don't feed the trolls. Those are not Trojan fans. Anyone
I'm sorry, man.
Lincoln Riley has a lot to answer for, but anyone calling him Helton is just trolling. All right, Paulie, thank you so much. Enjoy.
Anyway, take care, man. Check out the Trojan Conquest burger I created. All right, man.
I'm gonna check it out. Thank you, Paulie.
I'll talk to you later, brother.
Bye now.
Hey, this is Jackie. I'm calling from LA, and I'm a double Trojan.
Awesome, Jackie. Thank you for calling in. Rough night for the Trojans. What are your thoughts?
I don't have the highest football IQ. I will admit that, but I have enough common sense to recognize that Miller Moss is not the guy. I've been listening to you, and I know they have a lot of other problems. It's not just Miller Moss, but the guy just cannot handle pressure. And I think there's some really poor play calling on 4th and 1. They should have gone for it, and then that field goal was awful. I think that was what really made the difference. And I'm not a big I just needed to get on somewhere and vent about what's going on, because I went to USC and it was never like this.
Oh, you're lucky.
Always hope.
Oh, you're so lucky.
This feels hopeless.
Right. You were there at the right time, it sounds like, Jackie, because I'll tell you what, when I was in undergrad, it was rough. And again, it was just before Riley. And then also when I went back for my my master's, it was rough again. So I'm glad you had a nice time while you're there at USC. I did not, by the way. But yeah, I don't know. There are a lot of problems. But again, this is another game. This is 2 games in a row. We're not where Miller just made a bad throw, because quarterbacks are throwing interceptions. They throw interceptions. But he didn't make the throws, Preston, that he normally makes, that he should be making. Yeah. There were points on the board that were not taken. And then go ahead, Preston. I want to talk about the special teams in a minute as well.
Yeah, you got to make the routine throws, right? There's throws that just dump it right in the bucket. Or if you're off balance and you don't think you can get it there, throw it out of bounds. You have to make those decisions at those times. Your crucial moments within the game, you're ahead in the game. There's no reason to force the ball down the field if you're not comfortable, if you can't step into a throw with the right power and the right accuracy. And that's what we've seen. It's not good.
Sorry, Preston. I mean, step on you there.
You're good.
What's your guys' question on why Zachariah Branch can't return anything like he did last year?
There was a weird situation where Zachariah Branch, you guys, caught the ball, and Fair caught it late in that game about the 1-yard line, and it was a low kick, and there was nobody on the screen. I mean, I didn't have the all 22, but I couldn't see anybody on the entire screen, and he's Fair catching that thing from the 1-yard line on a low line drive kick. That's a great question. It's a great question for Lincoln Riley to answer, is why is Zachariah, if there's something wrong with Zachariah Branch and they don't want him returning, put Mekhi Lemon back there, put Quentin Joyner back there, have those guys I'd love to see Quentin Joyner return some kicks. Not that Zachariah Branch wasn't an All-American last year, but there's obviously something, if you don't have the faith in your kick returner to have him return it, then let's switch it up, because I don't get it either. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big analytic. I mean, I'm sorry. I believe in analytics, but I'm not a big analytics guy. Are they trying to play something here? I've got no idea. But when Zachariah Branch can change the game on one play, you're not letting him return it from the 1 yard line on a low kick in the second half in a nail biter. Preston, I don't know what we have on the team.
Yeah. The announcer said it too. I mean, he had one where he had nothing but green grass ahead of him, and he fair caught it. And I don't know if it's a mental thing. I don't know. You know, he got popped against Utah State. I don't know if that's still going on in his mind, but I don't know, man. You got to utilize that athleticism in that scenario. So,
Jackie, great call. We got calls stacking up, but appreciate you calling. Hope you call back in. Fight on. Fight on. Good to hear from alumna. Awesome.
Miller Moss is just not playing well. Like, he's just not.
I agree.
And yeah, he's dinking and dunking. He's doing certain things. But I said this last time, Tim. I said this, like, these picks that he's thrown are back-breaking picks. He did it against Michigan. He did it again last week. He did it again today. We're up 28-14. And that, to me, is not on Lincoln Riley. That's on that kid.
That's correct.
And so now it's Lincoln Riley's decision to say, all right, what do I do? Because we're up 28-14. We're driving.
Yeah.
We're driving. We're about to score again.
Yeah.
And he throws a pick. I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man?
I mean, it's pretty much it was probably pretty much a pick six. LV is pretty much a pick six because they scored the very next play inside the 10-yard line. Yeah, man, it's insane. Listen, I don't want to take up your calls, Tim. Tim, great job as always, Tim. Preston, nice to have you aboard. Fight on from the East Coast, LV Live. I love you guys. Keep it going. Fight on. Fight on, LV.
Thanks, man. Fight on.
Yeah, it's a rough night. I mean, no, you when it was one game, you can say, yeah, Miller's getting knocked around. People are in his head. He needs to work. He needs to shake that off and do it. But when it's back-to-back games where he's, again, whatever it is, he doesn't look like he's not the same quarterback. So all the people doing victory laps saying, yeah, Miller Moss is mid, blah, blah, blah. Miller Moss is now mid. He didn't start out, man. He started the first half of the season. Did you guys watch the game against LSU? Did you watch the game against Michigan? There was nothing mid about those games. He had a horrible pick six in that Michigan game. But outside that, with what they're doing with the pass rush and the way he was able to keep USC in that game, he was playing outstanding. But now in 2 games, Preston, where like the last 3 games, really, where he just is missing throws. I think so. I think that and rightfully so, he's getting the shit kicked out of him. I think he's just not the same quarterback. He may be rattled. He was standing tall in the pocket. He's taking a lot of shots, and he's just not making the throws. He's underthrowing players. He's overthrowing players. He's not accurate. And the one thing that Miller Moss is he's not going to wow you with his legs. He has to wow you with his arm. Well, Preston, if he's not wowing us with his arm, that maybe there have to have some questions are asked.
Yeah, started off the season looking poised, looking under control, confident, clutch. And it's really just, it's gone downhill, man. It's spiraled down. And he wowed me because of his decision making as soon as I started watching him as a quarterback. And his mind, that's what I was wowed by. Yeah. And that is gone. So I don't know where we're at now. Just gonna have to wait and see what happens.
So I've got 3 things I'm gonna say. Number one, I think we need to do the QB change because I don't think it's fair to the rest of the team now. It's been a couple games where you see Moss is doing these turnovers at critical moments, and you can't have that. The other thing is I don't think people realize how big of an asset Gentry was. And then with him and Lucas and the guy and Covington going down, that's a big issue for the defense. And the third thing is everyone is saying, the Pete Carroll days, Lane Kiffin. The problem is we stuck with those guys too long. This is a new day and age, and these kids aren't built like that. And they don't remember that Pete Carroll, John Robinson, and McKay are the exception. If you go back to the 80s and the 90s, the teams were kind of like this. You had to build up. You had to build that team slowly and then let them come and get those boys. And the other thing is, as fans, the more we kill these guys, the more we killing the recruits wanting to come and play here.
What's that last point? Sorry, I missed that. What were we? What?
The more the fan base is killing these kids, like Branch, he can't do anything right. You can see that he's kind of like wishy-washy on whether he wants to return the kick or fair catch the kick.
Yeah,
you're just hurting our recruiting.
Yeah, I don't know what they're telling.
You got to get behind these guys.
I'm 100% on that. I'm 100% on that. Right. If you notice on my show, I don't call players out by name. I just don't want to do it. I mean, unless there's situations where it's clearly who I'm talking about, then I'm not going to be silly and talk around it. Like on top of the quarterback play, we know we only have one quarterback, so I'm going to use his name. But I mean, in general, I don't really like to even call out players because I know they're all doing their best. I think the recruiting still, you guys, the recruits aren't going to care if USC goes, 8-4, 7-5 this year. However, if the wheels come off the wagon and the defense reverts back to what it used to look like, or the offense, and we start losing a bunch of games, then they're going to start questioning, well, what am I doing? But if they think that we're missing some pieces, and they think, obviously, have you ever met an 18-year-old that doesn't think they're the answer? I've never met an 18-year-old that didn't tell me that they were the answer to everything. Then you have an opportunity where you could bring in the pieces that you need. And so I get you. What has to be done is they can't let this thing go off the rails. Like a couple callers have said tonight, can they keep these kids, the Gaucho's brought up as well. Can you keep these kids interested for the rest of the season? Preston brought it up. How are you to keep that fire? How are you to keep that energy when they keep losing these close games? And as far as making the quarterback change, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of these guys, you might lose the locker room if you pull Miller Moss, who's been here for 3 years, and bring in the guy who's the transfer to be their quarterback. Yeah, you don't know. I don't know the answer to that. You're right. What I keep going back to, and again, there's a lot of mistakes that he's making. Right, he being Riley.
These packages.
I think he's okay. I got you. So you want Miller to come? You just want packages for Jay to come in. Is that what you're saying? And I don't think Riley's ever done that though.
Right.
I don't think Riley's ever. Riley's had 2 quarterbacks where he pulls a guy and he's brought him back in, but I don't think he actually runs actual packages. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was asked that question and he point blank said, "Nah, I really don't do that." So, Preston, sorry, I know you're not feeling well, and I know we're at the end here, but did you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I mean, in regards to the criticism of the players, I mean, you gotta. These guys, just like you say a lot, Tim. Like these guys feel a lot worse than we feel, probably. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want to lose these games. You think you want to work, 5 days and go out here and lose a game? Like you don't want to do that. Get on a plane, then get on a plane back. Like we got to stick behind these guys. The packages for Maava. Maybe it'll work, maybe it's something that could reinvigorate the offense and, bring something new, some new energy. But I don't know that for a fact. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know offense better than Lincoln Riley, but we'll just have to wait and see what they do. It could be a positive thing, but yeah, I mean, things can always go negative as well. So it just really depends.
One more thing. What do you guys think is going on with the fact that, like Jacoby Lane, he'll pop up like once a quarter or not during the game, and then he'll go to Kyron Ware. It's like he's selecting his receivers where he wants to go instead of reading the play. Now, I know he doesn't have time because of the offensive line, but you've got to use that height that Lane and Robinson have.
Yeah. And the thing is, it just goes in the face of this, is it's not like Jacoby's dropping balls. I mean, that catch that he caught left-handed,
unbelievable.
One-handed reaching back for. I mean, he can make those plays all day long. I don't know why they don't use Deuce and Jacoby like that more often. I don't know why we're not getting the ball to Makai Lemon in the flat or on quick slants or whatever, and letting him use his athletic ability to move the ball and get that first down or get that touchdown. There's a lot of it doesn't make sense to me. I do know he's going to Hudson because of one big reason. It's not like Lemon's dropping the ball, and it's not like Lane's dropping the ball. But there were a lot of drop ball. We're getting Oliver Miller today, but there were some drop balls that were very crucial in this game that could have been caught, that should have been caught, that weren't caught. But I think that the guys, Kyron Hudson has been that guy that if you give him the ball, he'll fight for that ball. And he, more often than not, he comes down with it and takes a hit. But even he dropped the ball tonight. So, I mean, I don't know what the answer really is. I mean, guys are going to have bad nights. It just seems like it all comes together in the perfect storm, Preston, to where like they find a way to lose a close game by just doing just enough wrong, right, Lamont, right, Preston? Just enough wrong to lose the damn game.
Yep.
You can feel it. You can almost feel it. Like situation after situation, game after game.
I think they're at that point where when they see the fourth quarter hits and there's 5 minutes left, they start to tighten up.
I know I do.
Like, just go ahead and play. Stop forgetting. Yeah.
I saw this. I saw this thing coming like a freight train. I felt like the car stalled car on the tracks, and I see the freight train coming. You know, I literally see that. I keep going, no, they're gonna pull us out because I got too much Kalo in the back of my head. But I realized that here's one knock. Besides the LSU game, when was the last time USC went down and to score a touchdown with a game on the line?
Under 2 minutes left in the game, maybe.
Under 2 minutes, when the offense either has to salt the game away or score some points, it just seems like it's not happening. So all of you guys that really are just out to get Miller out, I'm not saying you're one of them, Lamont. I'm just saying the people that just want a change. People are saying that I want Miller because he's white. That was earlier. That was a great call. That was a great comment. Those people that want to change just to make a change, I ask you this question. If you really want to make points, make that point. Miller hasn't been able to move the chains when we need him to move them, except he did a great job in that LSU game. But he's had opportunity, and I'm not putting it all on Miller. It was just play, but he's missed some passes, is what I'm saying. In clutch time that he normally makes, he's not making. That's what you want to comment on. I think Miller's playing out of his mind. I still think he's a great quarterback. I think if he had some protection, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But that's a point that I'm questioning. Does Miller and Moss have that? He did it once. He did it that one time, but he's had many of opportunities as well to do it again. And for whatever reason, I know that the offensive line is not helping him out. And I know the receivers are dropping balls. I almost feel bad saying this because, Woody catches that ball, we might see a field goal, and we're all celebrating a walk-off, a winning field goal. Do you know what I mean? But I'm tired of hearing that. I'm tired of hearing we should have done it. We should have pulled that. But Miller hasn't done that. And so that's where I'm kind of saying I'm off the full on blind, no, Riley knows what he's doing. I'm not blaming Miller at all for this loss, by the way, just so we're clear. Every loss is a team loss, but it just seems like he's missing some throws.
Well, for me, if you go back to Lane's touchdown catch and Kyron Hudson's catch, those were just remarkable catches because they were thrown where you had to make a great catch. And then I think on that last play, if you notice, Marks comes out that backfield. He's open immediately. But Moss takes like that.
I did notice that.
Step and then throws it. Gives that defender time to just come full speed and make that hit to pop that ball out. So
yeah, that's a linebacker too. That's not a safety.
But right.
Yeah.
So he's just not making the plays that we need to make at the right time. He'll make plays, but it's not at the right time that we need it.
But this is not true either. I mean, stop this. You guys stop. His ball placement at times, especially earlier in the season, was super elite. And we talk about the difficult catches. A lot of times Miller will throw the ball where only his guy can catch it. And what people realize is, that's going to make them have to make an adjustment, make a tough catch. But it's a safe throw. The problem is those back shoulder throws are too far inside. The balls on the slants are sailing over guys' heads. Throws that he should be making, that he usually makes. That's where he's opening himself up to criticism, Preston. But again, thank you, Lamont. Appreciate your call. I hope you call in again. That was a great call. DML, reach out to an adult and get a book on reading and listening comprehension, because I don't think you're really listening. Literally in the last game, I said I had some questions about Miller Moss, and I'm worried about him hearing footsteps and he's not making the throws he needs to make. Right now, we got DML saying that I'm ride him to the edge of a cliff. I don't know what you're saying. You guys wanted to get rid of Miller because you knew that he was going to not be able to throw the ball anymore. It wasn't. No one was saying, by the way, Preston. No one was saying that it's because of his arm. They were all saying it's because he can't run the ball. Yeah. Okay. Which everyone I know, and not me, I'm talking about Cody Kessler, Sua Cravens, a bunch of guys that know a hell of a lot more ball than I do. Were saying you guys are crazy. So I'll lean back onto that as well. And again, yeah, buddy, listen, I'll tell you what, I may not know, a lot of things, but I do that as much as we want to go at Lincoln Riley. He knows how to pick a quarterback coach. He's got a bunch of them in the NFL, a bunch of quarterbacks. He is a quarterbacks coach. He's got a bunch of guys in the NFL. So all you super experts out there, if Mayaba's not playing, you guys, stop for a minute. Why isn't he playing? Do you think he was a valid choice that Lincoln Riley's just going to, like you say, ride Miller off a cliff? You don't think that Lincoln Riley's feeling the heat and wants to win? I'm not saying that Maiev is not a great quarterback. I'm not saying he's not the solution. I'm saying that Lincoln Riley is saying he's not ready or not right now in this game. Hell, he might come out and start the next game because Riley says he's ready now. Yeah. You got to remember, Miller has been in this system for 3 years. Maiev just came here. He just got here. So he's picking up the offense. He's probably going to get a shot at some point. I'll tell you what, if Miller continues to play at this and he doesn't play, I'll be with you guys saying, maybe I am going to start doubting Riley. Maybe he hit his head or something. This obviously is not working. He's sticking with it. But at this point, you guys,
he knows what he's doing in terms of quarterbacks, man. Like, who plays? It has to do with what happens in practice during the week. Like, there's a reason why he wasn't a starter.
Right.
There's a reason why he's not playing. And hey, we've lost our 4th game. Maybe he gets in there next week. But I mean, until he gets in there, then we got to ride with whoever's in there. And I trust Lincoln Riley to make that decision. So
it's just a bit silly. It's just a bit silly to think that we know more. None of us are at practice. I've been to practice, but you know what I see at practice? Nothing that's going to tell me which one's a better quarterback. I'm in love with how the ball comes off of Jada Maieva's hand. The guy's just got an arm, right? But there's a lot more than having a great arm and be able to run to be in the quarterback position. And that's what we're talking about, what's going on with Miller. Miller's not making good decisions, strike one. He's not making the throws, and you're right. He's not athletic to make the difference in the run game. But then you have to ask yourself, why isn't Maiev playing, you guys? So let's all be adults about this. There's a reason why he's not playing. Yep. So anyway,